Hi, and welcome. My name's Leah Voigt, and I work for Metropolitan Family Service, where I do credit coaching with small business owners. In another video, we learned about different credit reports and what information's on them for business report. In this video, we'll learn about business credit scores, which are also contained on those reports. We'll learn about how they're different from personal credit scores and what factors impact them. Big thank you to Prosper Portland, who made this video possible, and to Credit Builders Alliance, who created the foundation for this presentation. Metropolitan Family Service is a nonprofit human service organization in the Portland metro area. Since 1950, we've joined forces with key community partners from education, healthcare, business, and government to create opportunities that change lives and make communities stronger. Our three key initiative areas are early childhood development and youth success, community-based health and wellness, and economic well-being. We embrace innovation to create sustainable solutions that address disparities, promote equity, and demonstrate respect for all individuals. You can learn more about us and what we do at mfspdx.org. As I said, the slide deck and the information presented here today originates from Credit Builders Alliance. Credit Builders Alliance, their mission is to bridge the gap between equity-focused nonprofits and credit bureaus to unlock credit as an asset for all. The content in this training should not be construed as and does not constitute legal advice on any specific matter. The information is also provided without any representation that it is complete. It is not an endorsement of specific products, lenders, or credit building strategies. You should carefully consider any product or options before entering into an agreement or deciding to pursue them. In one of our other videos, we discussed business credit reports. These reports also come with credit scores. Let's talk more about the scores, the factors that impact them, and the importance of monitoring your business's credit. Throughout the training, I'm going to use the word business and commercial interchangeably when talking about credit, also personal and consumer. Those words I'll use interchangeably as well. They mean the same thing, just so that you know. So, business credit scores summarize your business risk level based on the information in your report. Lenders and vendors often look at credit scores to decide if they want to lend to your business or allow you to pay via short or long-term credit. The government, along with other businesses or even consumers, may check your report to decide if they want to work with you. As a refresher, in the beginning, your personal credit will likely be more important than your business's credit. As your business grows, its credit itself may become more important than your personal credit. No matter what, focusing on your business credit in addition to your personal credit allows you to increase financing and other opportunities down the road. For your business, this is true for personal scores as well. You don't start at zero, or you don't start at the lowest credit score and work your way up. They gather information first and then they generate an initial credit score there. So you can start in the middle, you can start at the top of a range. It really depends on the information they have at the time they initially generate a score. Each bureau has its own requirements on what is needed to generate a credit score. For example, Dun & Bradstreet frequently uses Paydex as their credit score provider, and that requires at least 2 trade lines with 3 total payments made between all of those trade lines. Equifax and Experian Business, on the other hand, can generate scores with at least 1 trade line. And Experian Business can also potentially generate a score from business identifying information, like the length of time the business has been using credit and how many employees it has. There can also be further variation by credit score model and credit score company. So this means that you could be scored sooner with Experian Business or Equifax than Dun & Bradstreet, depending on what kind of information your organization has available. No matter the score, be patient. Scores are more likely to show after trade lines have reported for multiple months. It may take 30 days or more from the reporting period to initially generate a score. And the reporting period is the time during which the lender provides that information to the credit bureau and the credit bureau updates it. This might be, and likely is, later than the first time that you actually make a payment. So there can be a delay in that part as well. Personal credit scores have a different range than business credit scores. Personal credit scores range from 300 to 850. Business credit scoring companies like FICO use different scales for business data. Their ranges are much lower than those for personal scores. For example, for its business models, FICO uses a 0 to 300 scale, with a good score starting at 160. Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian all use 0 to 100 scale, but a good score for each of those companies can vary starting from 76 with Experian up to 90 with Equifax, and these things also change over time. Usually companies publish their different categories of poor, fair, good, exceptional on their websites. They do with personal scores as well. And so if you're ever curious which credit score range your business is being considered with, that's a great place to go for more information. So business can have multiple credit scores. Like your personal scores, those scores can vary. They can be different even at the same point in time. Your business can have a different score with each bureau and a different score with each credit model as well that's used. Each bureau uses those different credit models, or lenders ask for different credit models because they're viewing score for specific needs. So sometimes that's industry specific, sometimes that's product specific, like loans versus credit cards versus lines of credit. And there are scoring models out there that are tailored to meet each of those needs and weight information a little bit differently to try to better predict what the risk is that a lender faces by lending to that organization and the likelihood that they're going to be paid back and make money off of the interaction, which is what lenders do as a model. So why do scores vary? There are multiple credit bureaus to start with. So some lenders report to all of those credit bureaus. Some of them might only report to one or two, and some of them don't report at all. It's completely optional, but that means that one credit report from one bureau might have several things listed on it, and a report from another bureau might have no information listed on it, depending on whether or not the lender has reported to that bureau. And so that also means there's a different amount of data, and because credit scores are calculated from the information that is on a credit report, that also means that the scores that result from those reports are going to be different as well. Some scores and scoring models are also tailored for specific industries, like auto lenders that want to look at different credit factors than those offering commercial mortgages or small business loans. So there's going to be different models. They're going to weight factors in a slightly different way that they think can better predict the outcome for that specific type of product or industry. So which score is most important? I just said there's multiple scores. Which one should you be focusing on? Different lenders use different scoring models, as we said, and they also use different ranges. So it can be hard to compare scores between or across them. In order to answer that question, we recommend get familiar with your industry, knowing the type of credit or brainstorming the type of credit that you might want to take out in the future. Do you think an equipment loan, there might be a large piece of equipment that you're wanting to purchase that if your business grows? Do you think it's maybe for commercial lease? Do you think it's a vehicle? And so asking yourself those questions can help you be more familiar with the type of information that lenders in those industries or for those products might be looking at. You can ask a lender as well. So which credit bureau do you pull from when you're evaluating a business credit application? Which credit score model do you use? And so then also, if you then go pull your own credit score, you can have a little more confidence that the information you see will more closely align with the information that the lender is going to see when they do a credit check as part of your business credit application. However, even if you know that information of what model they're using, a lot of these models, because that's their whole business, is to create credit scores based on information. That's like the secret sauce of their business model. So they share some larger information about the things that impact credit scores. But even with that, they don't share the nitty-gritty details of we give this factor exactly this much weight and this other factor exactly this much weight. So you still are going to have some unknowns. This variation in scores and this amount of unknown information is also one of the reasons that credit educators recommend focusing on credit habits, things that overall will help your business financially, as well as align with the behaviors that do help move a credit score upwards. These can help set you up for long-term success and short-term success rather than trying to use strategies that chase down a specific credit score number, because that might not be a possibility anyway, or it might not meet your long-term goals and build healthy financial habits for your business. So this is another visual just to think about the information we've talked to over the last two slides. So on the left, you see you as a business owner, as a business entity, down there, you're going to go and you're going to get a credit product from a lender. There's a lot of lenders you can choose from, a lot of different products. But so that's where you're going to go. And then the lenders, right, there are several different credit bureaus, and there's even more than listed here. These are just the big three. So they're going to report information to credit bureaus. But as we said, reporting is optional. And so they might not report to any of them. They might report to one, two, three, more, less, anywhere in the middle. So you're going to see some variations starting there. And then within each of those credit bureaus, they're going to use different credit score models and credit score companies that they work with. So we talked about FICO, we talked about Paydex, and then within each of those, we're also going to see that there is variability, right? There's different credit score models available within each of those companies or sold by each of those companies. So it's going to be a combination of factors. You see it on the right-hand side, so little things going into a funnel. We have what information do you have on hand with lenders? What are they reporting to credit bureaus? Which credit bureau, is collecting your information, what information do they have across several lenders, and then for the credit score model, what factors are weighted in different ways. So you can see that any change to any one of those factors can result and does result very often in a different credit score. There are other factors that go into a credit score as well, which is what we'll talk about here. These factors on this page often include many things that are beyond your control. Things like having a newer business. You start when you start, you can't go back in time. Operating in a risky industry, unpredictable or unstable business revenue or size, and external events such as a pandemic, a natural disaster, or inflation, right? These are things that you can plan for. Maybe you have a backup strategy, but you ultimately can't control, even if you can control your reaction to them. So it's recommended to focus on the things that you can control, like your payment history, your credit utilization rate. So how much of your available credit are you using as a percentage? The balance, so how much money total do you have borrowed at any given time? And your account history. What types of account? Is there a mix? How long has that been? That piece, you can control by when you start in your journey. So consider how improving your score can help you meet your business's goals rather than just focusing on one number alone. For example, focusing on keeping your payments on time, that's something that you can control. It's also going to be less money out of your business's pocket if you're not having to pay interest on balances that are going over month to month, if you're having them on time and paid down, and you're not going to be having to pay late fees if they're on time. So that is a behavior that can help both boost your credit score and also just makes financial sense for your business. Some scoring models also reward behaviors such as making your payments early or paying off larger balances, right? That balance piece is going to help your total balance as well as usually your credit utilization go down. And so those are things that are going to, in return, cause your credit score to go up. You may not be able to predict exactly how much your credit score will go up, but know that those things are buoying your credit score up. And so again, there can be a lot of things that make financial sense for your business that also can help improve your credit score and finding where those things dovetail. This is a summary of some of those factors that you can control that will help your credit score move in an upwards direction. So paying on time, keeping your balances low, making the monthly required minimum payment in full each month on loans and vendor credit. But if it isn't possible to make that full balance payment, making sure that at least the minimum required balance is being paid each month. Remember, some behaviors are rewarded, so consider whether you can afford to pay early or make a larger payment. So establishing multiple accounts, right, can start generating a business score. Again, make sure that they're affordable and they realistically fit into your budget and your goals for your business. Remember, all of this happens over time. It doesn't need to happen all at once. There are things that you can do now to at least get started on that process and allow things to build up. Here's some information about accessing your credit score and report. There is the federal law that protects consumers, individuals about credit, but those don't apply to business. So your right to get a copy of your credit report for free as an individual person, that's protected under those credit laws. As we said, that doesn't apply for business. There's also no centralized website where you can access all of your business credit reports at the same time. So what this means is you'll have to go to each individual bureau to purchase reports. They're usually available on the website. You can also call in or mail in orders as well. The prices can range from about $50 to $150 depending on the credit bureau that you're asking for a report from, as well as the specific type of report that you're asking for. The bureaus also offer subscription services, which lets you pull multiple reports over the year, and the price is paid as a group. So those subscriptions can offer from $200 to $650, again, depending on the bureau you're working with and the package options that you choose. You might ask yourself, which is best, a one-time report or signing up for a subscription? So when you're starting out, it might make sense to pull a single report. Using that option, it's a one-time payment and it will give you the ability to see what's currently on the report. This allows you to see if any of the credit products you have are reporting, if so, to which bureau, how are they showing up? It also allows you to make sure that there aren't any errors, both with personal credit and business credit reports. There is the possibility that because information is being collected by these bureaus from hundreds of thousands of sources, if not more, that sometimes information accidentally ends up in the wrong file. So having at least a one-time credit report pull allows you to look over that credit report for that information, making sure it's accurate, up to date, making sure it's all yours, submitting information, submitting disputes and requests to correct it if it's not, and also knowing what your credit score is currently. That can help you know where you want to go next with your business credit journey. Subscription services might be more helpful if you are actively working on building your business credit. Maybe you're preparing for a large loan in the next year and you really want to keep an eye on how your credit report is changing based on all of the different information that goes into a credit report. There's a lot of individual choice and thinking about, again, what best aligns with your business's goals and is most cost-effective way to get you there to help you decide between these two options. No matter what approach you choose to use, consider checking your credit report if your business plans to apply for credit soon. That way you can verify that the information is correct and allows you to see your score, which can help you make a more informed decision. So now we're going to jump into some knowledge checks. Between the reading of the question and me giving the answer, I highly encourage you to pause, take a minute, think about what your answer is, see if you can come up with it on your own, and then go ahead and hit play on the video once you're ready to hear the answer revealed. This knowledge check is a true or false answer, so true or false. It's more important to focus on overall actions that can increase credit score over time than the score number itself. Go ahead, take a pause here, hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. The answer is that it's true. Some things that affect your credit score are outside of your control and are really hard to have an influence over. Some can only provide real score improvements over time. And so making a plan to focus on what is in your control, like making on-time payments and keeping balances low, can be really helpful. And then working on that plan patiently, allowing time for it to build, and you will see results, can be a really helpful way to go about that. Our next knowledge check is also true and false. I can access my business credit report anytime for free. The answer to this statement is that it is false. While consumer reports are free, you'll typically have to pay to see your business credit report. If you're interested in monitoring your business credit report, you can think about how those costs budget in to your business budget and how often you might need to check report. That's the information we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and feel free to check out our other videos on business credit as an introduction if you have any other things you want to learn about. Bye.
We covered a lot of information today, and business finance is a really big topic, and running your business is a really big job. So I also want to share some additional resources. The FDIC Money Smart for Small Business materials might be beneficial if you more generally want to learn about different topics related to small business development and banking. You might also be interested in seeking out mentorship via SCORE's network of retired entrepreneurs and business leaders. And local and regional small business development centers can also be good resources for additional business advice and counseling. I've included the Oregon Small Business Development Center link on this slide. Other resources that might be helpful include the U.S. Small Business Administration. This is listed as the website for the Portland District. The Portland District, in this case, actually covers most of Oregon State, particularly the western side. And then the Oregon Office of Small Business Assistance and the Portland Small Business Hub.